All right, hello and welcome to this walkthrough or tutorial video of how to manage your new WordPress website. I'm Zach Weber and I'm going to try to touch on all of the essentials of managing your WordPress site, all the tools that come with it, and some of the third-party tools that we've installed on your website to help you get the most out of your website. I'm going to be covering things like logging in, managing your users, editing pages, editing posts, managing your menu, so that's your header and your footer, your WooCommerce settings if you are an e-commerce website on WordPress, managing your products and coupons, again, only applicable if you are an e-commerce store. There will be timestamps for that in the description, so be sure to check that out if you want to skip ahead or skip around and only watch the parts that are applicable to you. To get started, what you're going to do is come to your website, so it would be whatever your domain is. I'm on a test site here, one of Big Red Jelly's Surge websites. So after the .com or the .net or the .org or whatever your top level domain is, you're going to put /admin as an administrator. You could also put WP-login. It will redirect you to the same place. And then I'm going to log in with my email and password. If you don't have or don't know your email or password, please reach out to your point of contact at Big Red Jelly. They'll be more than happy to help set that up for you. The first thing you'll see is the dashboard here. There's nothing really essential on this dashboard. It's just kind of WordPress events and news, your site health, activity, etc. If you're running analytics on your website, like Google Analytics, that might show up here as well if you have that synced. But just know this is what you'll see when you first log in. Over here on the left, however, you'll see all of the tools, both native to WordPress and third-party tools that we've installed for you on your website. The first one we're going to touch on is users. It's about 2/3 of the way down. I'm going to click on users, and you'll see I actually have two in here already. So I have myself and then a test at bigredjelly.com. This is just basically a spreadsheet, rows and columns of the users in your website. If you are an e-commerce store, you'll see your customers in here as well. If you've delegated access to employees, interns, partners, so that they can either write posts for you, manage your website, edit pages, etc. This is where you'll see all of that. If you hover over users, you can edit, delete, view, send password reset, etc. You cannot delete your own user as you're logged in. So for example, if I wanted to delete this one, I could just click delete, confirm deletion, and that's good to go. If I wanted to add a new user, I just click on the add new up here at the top, and it will prompt me to go through all the different steps. In most sites, you can use the email for both the username and the email unless you have a security setting that prevents that. First name, last name, website aren't required, but you can put that in if you want to, if you feel so obliged. And then the password will randomly generate one for you, and it will randomly generate a strong password for you. If you want to reset that to something a little bit weaker, you definitely can, but you'll have to confirm that you do want to use a weak password. It will then ask you if you want to send the user notification. So send the new user an email about their new account. So you can choose to do that if you want to. And then the role, you can generally leave it as subscriber if they're going to be like an e-commerce customer or if you have like a login website. But if they're going to be writing posts for you, managing products, creating new pages, etc., you're going to want to grant them as an administrator, create a new user. That big blue button is going to make an appearance just about everywhere on the website, and we'll get more on that later. If a user reaches out to you or a partner or again an employee and says, hey, my password's not working, I can't seem to get the email or whatever, you can come to this and either send them a password reset email or manually do it by clicking edit, scrolling about halfway down to account management, and you could set a new password here for them as well. Again, confirming the use of a weak password. Here's that big blue update user button that we're talking about. I'm going to go ahead and click that, and it refreshes the page and says user updated. So that's managing users. Pretty straightforward. You can reset your own password as well. So once you come in here, if you're already logged in, you want to reset it, you can click on edit and edit it that way. So that's managing users. Next thing I want to do is managing pages. The easiest way to do this is to click on this home icon up here and take you to the home page of your website. It should look exactly how the users will see it. except for you'll have an admin bar across the top. So I can navigate to any page I want to edit. Let's say I wanted to edit my contact page or my home page. Right? I can just navigate to it. I can click on the edit page button right here, or the edit with WP Bakery page builder. Most of Big Red Jelly's sites are or have this tool installed so that it is easier for you to make changes on your website. I'm going to go into both of them. First, I'm going to touch on the managing or editing with WP Bakery page builder. If I click on that, it will refresh this page essentially, and it will look exactly the same, except for when I hover over certain elements, you'll see these options to edit appear, right? So if I wanted to edit this text, the split line heading, I would click on the little pen tool, and I can change this to whatever I want. Make sure I click Save Changes, and you'll see it changes as I'm editing. Very cool. You have lots and lots of different elements. This builder has 200 plus different element types. So each one is going to be a little bit different. So for example, that was editing a split line header. If I wanted to edit this call to action, I click on the pen tool, and it's going to give me some different options in here, but they're all more or less the same. It will tell you exactly what you're editing. So the link text, right? And then the link URL, if I wanted to change that to be, whatever phone number I wanted, 1-800, etc. Always clicking the Save Changes before I go on. You see it changed to Call Now. So I can go through and change this as a testimonial. I can click on the pen tool and edit the testimonial. So here's the quote, here's the name, here's the subtitle if I wanted to change those things. You'll notice that there are some things that I can't change. For example, this image, if I click on the pen tool, it won't let me change the image. It's just a divider. That's because that image is actually a background image. To change any background images, so the same with this image, if I hover over it, I can't edit that image, or things in the header or footer. So we're going to talk about header and footer later, but to edit background images, what you're going to need to do is actually, I'm going to go to the back end editor here. So if you click on the edit page up in the top navigational or kind of admin bar up at the top, this is what's going to appear. It might look like this. If it does, just click on back end editor here. And this is basically an abstract structure of your page. So this is my home page, and you'll see here the split line heading, breathing life into beauty. This is what we changed before, so this should look familiar. I can put whatever I want here. Click, and then here's the call to action. So you should see that this is the structure of your website. So you could edit in this mode as well. This is also doable, but if I wanted to preview my changes, I can preview this. So it's not going to show them to me live as I'm going. That's the other benefit of using the WP Bakery page builder. I could see this top row has an image of a plant and a towel. I want to come to this top row right here, and I'm going to click on the pen tool for that top row. Open up the row settings, go to background, and it will allow me to change the image of the background for the background. If I click on this little X tool or X icon and click Add Image, it should open up your media library, or it will open up the media uploader, if you will. So you can drag and drop from your desktop if you want to do it that way, or click on Select Files and it will open up a file uploading window, just like any other program. If you go to Media Library, you can filter this by dates. If it's empty, just try going to the latest date and then back to all dates again, and it should refresh all of your images for you. I'm going to select, I'm going to switch my camera again. I'm going to select this image as the replacement for that top row, click Save Changes, and Preview Changes. So I should see now the new image that I've put up there. When you're all done making your changes, make sure you push the big blue update button. If you don't push the update button, your website won't be saving all of your changes. So make sure you click update when you're done making changes before you navigate away. I say it won't save all of them because it will save periodically, but just like using a Word document, it auto saves maybe every half an hour or so. So it's best to just click update when you're done with your work. So that goes for managing any page. So I could go to the contact page, and I could click on edit page and get into the backend builder. like this. Right, so I got the contact us, I've got the things over here. If I preview, I can see that over here I have contact us, I have the text over here, frequently asked questions. Here's the frequently asked questions down here. So I can open up each of these and edit those accordingly, right? However you wanted to do it. And when I'm done, I click update, right? Or I could click edit with WP Bakery Page Builder. And again, it should be that front end editor where we can kind of see things as we are changing them. Pretty cool. So that's managing your pages, right? So editing existing pages. You can create new pages by coming into the back end of your website, clicking on pages here, and here's a list of all your pages. You can click add new, and it will give you a brand new page, right? So you could add a new title here, and then whatever's in here is going to be your, the content for your new page. So that's creating new pages. Most of Big Red Jelly's websites comes with user-friendly themes or this builder that we're using now. So feel free to explore the back-end editor and adding elements onto your website. So you can create, rows, and inside those rows, you can create columns. And in those columns, you can put text blocks and even buttons. There's a lot of different possibilities, like I mentioned before. There's hundreds of different elements and kind of styles that you can upload or use to build out pages here. When you're done, make sure you click the big blue update, or in this case it says publish, but the big blue button to save your changes, because it won't save them for you. So that's managing pages. Managing posts, if you have a blog post or a blog functionality on your website, like this site does. We have a news page. If we come on here, we have some example posts. The same goes for these. If I wanted to edit an existing one, I could click onto an existing post like this, and here's that big edit post button up here, right? So I can click on that. Or if I'm in the back end, I could just navigate to posts like this, and here's a list of all of my posts. I find that this is generally easier because if you're blogging, you probably, eventually will have dozens, maybe even hundreds of blog posts, and it's easier to find them in here because you can search for them as well instead of finding them on the front end. So let's say I wanted to edit the Hello World one. I'd hover over it, click on edit, and in here, here's my first post, right? So here's the title of my post. Here is the body of my post. I can write whatever I want in here, and it does function just like a typical Word kind of processor editor, where I can do bullet lists, I can even do numbered lists, I can bold things, I can italicize them, I can center justify, I can right justify. There's a whole lot of options here. One of the most important ones is I can use my preset typography settings here. So if I wanted a header 1, which is very big, header 2, slightly smaller, header 3, etc. So you can make whatever you want to in here. You can even add media. So if I click on add media, this should look familiar. We have the upload files, media library, so I can add things from my library or drag and drop from my desktop if I wanted to. Very cool. Something to note is as I'm editing, I want to have a title, I want to have my body, obviously, and then I like to kind of come in a U shape. So title, body, and I come down and across. Make sure you have a featured image. So if I remove this featured image and set a new featured image, that is telling the website basically what is going to be the thumbnail, wherever the thumbnail appears. Make sure you add a category to your blog post if you want to, and then click update, right? I'm not going to update this because I don't want those changes to be permanent, so I'm actually going to navigate away. So the same goes for creating a new post. So up on posts, I can click add new, and it will open up the same editor, but it'll be blank, right? So I can click new, I can type new post, add my body in here, and I come down, set a featured image, set a category. I can even make new categories, and then click publish, right? I'm not going to publish this, obviously, so I'm going to move to trash. Same goes with posts as it does with users and pages. I can hover over these and trash them if I want to, or view them. Those are all options for you. So it's very easy to manage all of your posts in one place. Next, I want to go to managing your menu. Move my camera again. On the left-hand menu here, you're going to see appearance. If you hover over appearance, the fourth option down is menus. So this might look or can be a little bit intimidating, but it's not always. If it's checked as top navigation menu, that's the one that is appearing at the top of your website with your logo, right? So once this loads, we have your logo, home, news, services, contact. So we have home, news, services, contact. So it should start to make sense now that top to bottom here is left to right across there. And if I drag them like this, so left to right, that is going to make my menu have a drop-down functionality, right? So I can continue to indent these as many as I want. Obviously, I usually don't recommend that you do more than 2 because then things start getting really weird. So that is managing your menu items in your menu. You can add new pages by coming over here and click view all. So here's a list of all my pages. So I can add those if I want to. Or you can, I'm going to remove that, come down to custom links and link to specific, outside of your website links. So maybe I want to link to Google for whatever. I could do that. Click add to menu and save menu. Here's that big blue button again, save menu. Make sure you're clicking that. So if I do this now, you'll see I have my menu plus Google, and that takes me away to Google. Pretty cool. So I'm going to go back. Here we go. And then to delete these menu items, you just open up the arrow, click remove, and then make sure that you are clicking save menu, right? So that's managing your menus at the top of the website, so your header. Next is going to be your footer, and that's also in appearance. It's the third option down. It's widgets. And in here, you'll see some options for your footer widgets. Once this loads, we have, on this website at least, 3 footer widgets. So footer area 1, area 2, footer area 3, 4. Oh, I lied. We have 4 footer area widgets. So this could be, if I put the little plus sign, I could add a paragraph, an image, a gallery, a list, or I can click browse all, and it will open up all of the options that I can put into that footer area. If I go to the front end of my website and scroll all the way down, you'll see we have, this list of text, then the archives, categories, recent posts, etc. So that's all in my footer, and those are all coming from my different footer areas. So archives, categories, recent posts. Pretty cool. Once you make any changes in there, if you're adding content or text or whatever, make sure you click the big blue update button as per usual. So that's managing your footer. That's for all sites. So everything up until now is applicable for every site on WordPress. The next couple items are going to be e-commerce specific. So if this doesn't apply to you, feel free to exit out now. But if you do have Woocommerce installed on your website, these next points are going to be pretty important. On the left menu, again, this vertical menu, there's Woocommerce. If you hover over this, you'll have all the options in here. They are pretty self-explanatory for the most part, but I do want to touch on some specific things. The first one being your Woocommerce primary settings. If you click on this, it will open up your general settings here. So make sure that your store address is correct. Make sure that you have your shipping configured correctly, so you can add shipping zones. And again, you just kind of walk through, you choose the zone names, the zone regions, etc., and you choose the shipping methods. Payments, so if you're using PayPal, Stripe, check, cash on delivery, etc., that should all be in here. And if you have questions about that, feel free to reach out to your contact at Big Red Jelly. They'll be more than happy to help you. If you're watching this video, you've probably already got this connected, so you don't need to worry about that unless you're planning on changing that, right? This is a default installation, so it only comes with these 3, but there are more, right? Like Stripe payments or PayPal, etc. Emails are important. If you click on emails, make sure that, or if you want to change these recipients, then you definitely can. By default, it will go to whoever our point of contact was while working on the project here at Big Red Jelly. Right now it's me, so if there's a new order, a canceled order, or a failed order, those all three are going to be delivered to me, right? So in this test website, if somebody placed an order and bought a product, I would get notified. If they canceled that order, I would also get notified, etc. Down below is where you're seeing the email sender options. So this is where your customers, or what your customers will see when they receive an email from you. So the from name by default is going to be actually your domain name. In this case, it's this randomly generated bunch of numbers. And the from email address should also be your email address or whoever's email address we've been told to use. And again, you'll see here's that big blue Save Changes button as we're going. So that's WooCommerce general settings, those three things. So general shipping and emails or general shipping, payments and emails are the big ones for you that you'll need to become familiar with. The next thing is going to be managing your products. This will feel very familiar. If I click on products, we don't have any right now, so I'm going to create a product here as a test. And this will look almost identical to your post or your page, right? So product name, new product. This product description. So this will appear below the product. So this appears below the product. Product short description. This appears next to the product. And then the product data, right? So if it's a simple product, so it just has one price and no variations, then I could just put $10 in here and then manage my inventory and shipping if I want to for that product. That's the easiest or the simplest case scenario. The more complicated ones in here are like a variable product where you have variations of a product. So maybe that's sizes. So I could add a SKU in here if I wanted to. I could manage my stock levels and say there's 15 of these. But the difference with the variable product is under attributes and variations. So attributes would be, for example, if I wanted to add a custom attribute, it could be color. It could be red. I'm going to separate these with pipe characters, blue, yellow, and orange. And if I wanted to use these as variations on the product, so options that the users can choose from, those are what the variations are, I would check that box and click Save Attributes. Now, if I go to variations, the easiest way to do this would be to, on this drop-down, select Create Variations from All Attributes, click Go, and it will create all of the possible combinations. You can see this will get really complex the more attributes you have. So if I had attributes, colors, and if I had sizes as well, so small, medium, and large, and I save those ones and I come back to my variations. I'm going to remove all of these just for the sake of the demonstration. If I wanted to create variations from all my attributes with those two, what it's going to do is basically multiply the 4 colors I have by the 3 sizes. It's going to have every combination possible. So if the red small t-shirt is $10 and the red medium is $15, or $150, and the red large is $20, and the blue small is $30, or whatever you wanted to do, right? Obviously, most of the time, there's only going to be one variation that actually affects the prices of your product. So blue, and then let's say, well, actually, what I'll do is let me remove all of these. So I'm going to go on Add New Variation. So if I say any color, and if it's a small, then it's $5. I'm going to add another one, and any color, if it's a medium, I'm going to say that it's $10. And then I'm going to add another variation, any color, large is going to be $15, right? And just the same as a post, I want to add a product image. If you have a product gallery, that's where you would add those. So I'm going to add this product image. And then if I have a product category, add that there as well. I'm going to preview this before I publish it, and it should, just publish it. If it asks you that, it's just a little, just probably because you haven't, or it hasn't auto saved whatever you've got going on. So I just force publish and then click preview, and you should see our product. So the new product here, that's the product title. Here's the image, very cool. It will automatically give you a price range unless we've configured it in another way. This appears next to the product, which is that short description. That was the second box. This appears below the product, which is the long description. And here's our variations. So red and small. Now you see, no matter what color I choose, because it says any color under the variations, it doesn't change the price. The only thing that changes the price would be the sizes here, right? So that's how you manage your products. Now, finally, the last thing I want to do, I'm going to move this to, actually, let's go back to products. Here's the list of your products. It should look familiar again, just like the posts. I'm going to trash this because I don't want that there. The last thing to know or essential for your website is managing coupons. So if I hover over Woocommerce, you can find coupons. It's the fourth option down here. Also, if you go over marketing, it's the second option. I don't know why they have it in two spots, but they do. And here is create your first coupon. If you have a list of coupons, they'll be listed out there just like in a spreadsheet like the rest of them. And I'm going to make a 100% off coupon in this case. So Big Red Jelly 1, that's my coupon code. You can make it whatever you want to. And then the discount type is a fixed cart discount, is a dollar amount on your cart. So whatever their cart total is, maybe it's $300, this coupon will give them $100 off, right? Or I can do a percentage discount. So when 100% off, or 50% off, or 25% off. I could also do a fixed product discount, so it would apply to only one product, so 25% off. And these tabs over here on the side, so I have general usage restriction, so a minimum spend, maximum spend, if you wanted to restrict the coupon by that, which products it applies to, or you can just exclude one or two products, or apply it to product categories as a whole, or exclude product categories. The usage limits is probably my favorite section. So limit uses per coupon. This is, hey, I'm giving you this coupon. Don't try giving it to another friend because it has a usage limit of 1. And when you use it, it's going to be gone and the coupon expires. After that one, I only really use one of these at a time. Usage limit to X items. So, you can only limit to 5 items in your cart. That's kind of cool. Usage limit per user. So this is actually restricting it per email. So if I do it, you can use it once per user, or each user can use it twice or whatever. That's where you would add that. You can click publish, right? I'm not going to use this, so I'm going to trash it. So that is managing all of your e-commerce functionality from products and your general settings and your coupons. Not a management thing per se, but to see your orders, you're going to hover over WooCommerce and go to orders. And in here, when you do have orders, guess what? It will look exactly the same as your posts and your pages or your users, where it will be basically a spreadsheet of the most recent orders and the order total, order number, and you can hover over those, click edit or click view to see more details about those orders. Because this is a test site or demo site, you're not going to see any of that in here. That should be just about everything for managing a WooCommerce store on WordPress and managing WordPress in general. If you have any questions, again, please feel free to reach out to your point of contact over at Big Red Jelly, and we'll be happy to help. Thank you for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.